As we finalize our texture, now it's time to export. The way we export is going to File, Export Textures, and then here in output directory, you'll select the directory where you're gonna put all your textures and press select folder. After, you go into output templates and click here, and you're gonna select since we're gonna export to Unreal, we do metallic roughness, and we click on this, and now this is set. For the most part, all these stay the same. If you want a different file format, you can select it here. For the most part, I'll just leave it how it is. And based on each texture set size. So here you can select the size which you're going to be exporting at. I'm just gonna leave it how it is, which is 2K. And then here is where you're going to see where your how your textures are gonna come out and the naming convention. So since we selected in global settings, we selected PBR metallic roughness, in the texture set is going to be named the name of the texture set, which is this large support, and then underscore base color, roughness, metallic, normal map, height, emissive. So we're gonna select, we're gonna export all these maps. So now, remember we have 2 textures for a wall. So this is going to be one texture set, and then we're gonna export. When we click export, it's going to export all these textures. You're gonna see the naming convention right here. And I have the supports, all these textures, and then the wall set, all these textures. Now you're gonna see I have another set of textures of the wall. Remember that the bottom wall is a brick wall, so we have 2 textures for the bottom wall. So what I did was I came back here. After I exported, I saved settings and closed this menu, came back into my wall set, double clicked and added underscore stone, and hid the plaster and enabled the stone wall. And here I had a problem, which I didn't have it selected. So now this is the other texture set. So now you go back to File, Textures, but now we don't want to export the large supports because we already did export those. So you uncheck that and you just export this again, and you're going to have the other set of textures. Now, after you have all your textures set exported, you save the file and you close Substance, and we'll move into Maya. In Maya, you grab the original, the ones that are not the exploded one, because we exported the exploded one. We grab the modular pieces and then we open them up. Then you click on this icon right here, which is the hypershade. The hypershade is gonna open. Now it's really important for you so that you don't be looking into all your folders. Copy the location of where you exported your textures. Then you come back into Maya, and you're probably gonna have 2 materials. You'll create a third one of Lambert 1, Lambert 2, and Lambert 3. You create 3. Then on the base one, you can name it whatever you want, except the Lambert 1, because that's the default material, but it doesn't matter because we're going to take it into Unreal. But you can rename the second and the third if you want. But to change the color, you click on in the color. There's gonna be a little checker pattern. You click on it, and you're going to be brought into this menu, and then on this little folder you click again, and then you paste the location where your texture's at, and then select one of the textures. On this one I did the supports first, then in the second one I did the same thing, clicked here, clicked the folder, pasted the wall set, and then on the third I did the same thing and pasted third one with the bricks. Now that we have all three colors, what we're gonna do is we can assign it to all our meshes. So you go into the mesh, select the hypershade. If you want, put it to the side like so, grab it, and then click, right click, and assign to initial group to selection. Click on that, it'll assign that material. Then for this one, the same thing, and you go into each piece, and if you wanted to make it simpler, you just hide them all and grab all of these, grab all, and then apply your material like so, and it'll assign every texture to every single material. Once you're done assigning materials, what you want to do is put your lodge back together, and then you're going to notice that the wall is going to have one texture. What's going to happen is and this process is only for Maya. In Unreal it's totally different, but it's the same concept. You basically, when you have your walls, you're gonna have one color for each of the walls because it has the same material. So you're going to have something like this. You're going to just, when you're putting back the lodge together, you're gonna copy this, duplicate it, and move it up, and you're gonna have all four sides. Then what you want to do is grab the ones on the bottom, like so, and assign the third material to it. And then you're gonna have your bricks on the bottom and your plaster on the top. And that's about it with the materials in Maya. Once you have everything together, what I did was, to get the lodge together, I duplicated the original group, the one that we are prepared to export for Unreal. But since we're gonna export it to SketchLab, what I did was I duplicated it and then started grabbing piece by piece and putting back the lodge together. If I needed to duplicate it, I duplicate it. And the reason I did this is because I don't want my transforms to be changed in the original, because this is the group that we're gonna export for Unreal. The other group that we duplicated the original from is the one that we're gonna put into SketchLab for this sprint. So now that we have this whole thing done, all we want to do, and the textures assigned, all we want to do is grab this, go into File, Export Selection, because you have the selected group that we want to export. I created a texture, I created a folder in my desktop called SketchLab, and I exported an FBX, and I click Export. Once I export, I am going to have a folder with the FBX. I'll create another folder called Textures. I am going to grab my texture folder, copy all these textures, Control C, and put them back into this folder. So now that I have all my textures already here, I have an FBX and a texture folder. I want to grab the texture folder and the FBX, right click, send to, and create a zip file. Go into Sketchfab and create an account. It's free. And then you're going to be welcome with this screen, and I'll click upload. All I have to do is grab that zip file and drag it in and drop it in here. And it's going to give me all my textures and the FBX, and then click upload files. Once you click upload, it's going to start processing. All you want to do is add a title, a description, a category, and I'll put architecture and art abstract, and then whatever tags you want if you need tags. Then you gotta wait until it processes and then click edit 3D settings. That way you can rotate, because for some reason when you import the model, it's going to come up like this for some reason. I don't know why specifically. Maybe is the orientation of how we created the lodge in the first place, but for me personally, it came out like this. Maybe depending on how you guys modeled it, it came out fine, so you don't have to edit. But then here's where in edit, 3D edit is where you can apply the other textures to your model. You can apply lighting to your model. For this sprint, is just upload your model so that it looks fine. And it takes a while to process. Okay, so this is the model I uploaded. So now if you can see that I can move the lighting. If I press Alt and left click, I can move the lighting around. So what you want to do is, mine came in like this. The only thing I needed to do is rotate it so that it was orientated the correct way. Then I came into materials and it has the base color applied, and I came down into normal map, activated the normal map, and selected that over here, the normal map for that specific map. And that was it for that one. Then I went into the other material and then did the same thing. Turn on normal. I added my normal map, and that was it. I keep checking. This is the lighting, and you can change it if you want. I just left it by default and press save settings. Once I press save settings, the only thing I needed to do is save, and the model got saved into it'll give you a link so that you can link that in your page or in Discord for Eric to grade it. That way he has the model, your model. And that's just the process for SketchLab. In the next sprint, I'm going to be showing you how to import it into Unreal and then putting it together in Unreal. Until the next one.